Howdy kitties, Dr. Groovy Scott Grove here of GroovyMusicLessons.com. See, what are we at? Again, season number 2, and this is episode number 11 of Ask Me Any Shit You Want. Okay, number 1 first, real quick. Went to the doctor today to have the epidural thing for the sciatica, blah 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 blah. Anyway, no doctor there, just a nurse. So, you know, they tapped on my knees and watched my legs go boingy 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 and that kind of shit, and talked to me about a few things, and then they said, I just flat out asked them, said, is there any surgery you can do? Just go in there and knock off that fucking nodule that's on the disc and cut that off and everything be fine instantly and never have to worry about anything. I said, sure. Yep, you can do that and you'd be instantly fine for the rest of your life. I said, is it evasive at all? Is there any danger in doing that? None at all. No problem with worry about paralysis or anything. Okay. So I say, so when's the flippin' epidural? I said, oh, the doctor will be back tomorrow. I said, okay. So I said, how about I don't do the fucking epidural and we just go in and slice my fucking back open? I've got the money, let's do it. And chip off the little piece, and 10 minutes later, I'm done. You know, forever. I'm good. I'm perfect. Nah. United States don't work that way. Medical system. Now you gotta go through all this shit and then go through physical therapy and all that kind of bullshit. It's like, I can do it. I'll pay for the fucking thing out of my pocket. Just open up my fucking back and take a little chisel and a hammer and go ping and knock that fucking thing up. Nah, not in good old fucking America. What a fucking crock of shit. Anyway, so you want me to tell you how I really feel about that? So anyway, so it's epidural time and then physical therapy, and it might work and it might not, and you'll be in pain for a while, but it's like, you can't throw enough money at the system to make them just go in there and fix it. And yeah, they said right then and there they could fix it that quick, be done with it. Ah, fuck. Okay, let's get back to the questions here. Number 1, oh, first, yeah, I just threw a bunch of crap up on YouTube, some lessons and stuff. Funny one was, I threw a, God, it just has to be more fucking metalheads out there. I threw a thing up on, basically, again, pro guitar players don't need lessons for the most part, so I concentrate on giving the beginners stuff, because they need it. So I just put a thing on, some waltz playing and so forth. Right away, like 4 negatives. Thumbs down, thumbs down. It's like, fucking metalheads. Oh well. So I'm going to go to, see, we got Michael Martin. I like Michael. I don't care if he has 300 questions on here. I'll answer every one of them. He says, you had mentioned once that you do not believe in him. That guy up there. That's right. I don't. But if you were actually taken to meet God after your death, what would you say to him? I'd say, fuck you. You know, either make yourself known or don't. You know, so to fuck with people and to be some bastard that has to be all praised all the time, you know, whatever. I'd say, send my ass to hell, man. You're a prick for doing that. So at least the guy downstairs probably has a, you know, better sense of humor. So I guess it's probably what I do. I just you know, we'll find out. No, we won't. I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, I just tell him to go fuck himself. And I was like, well, you gotta have faith. It's like, that's George Michael, you gay bastard. And that, it's all the more I've got vested in that thing. Okay, I'm not even going to try to spell the next person or pronounce the next one. It is probably Michael or whatever. Is it Zagranichi? Is it Zagranichny? You guys tell me, is that a Michael or a Michael or a Gonzalez or what do you got? So, sorry to butcher your name, but it is really early in the morning and this is pre-bedtime, so I'm running on empty. But at least I can let this kind of upload while I'm off getting my little epidural tomorrow. See. It says before... Oh, good shit. I didn't open up your question, dude. Before making questions, let me thank you for all your work and keeping on form, Russia. I have no idea what it means because it says read more and I did not open it up to do it. So I have to circle it and find out what he actually had to say. I thought I did. I thought I got every one of these. Amazing how many I missed. So, sorry to miss your question, dude. I'll try to go back there and open that up and see what it actually says. I know you're like, mine's next, mine's next, mine's next. Shit, sorry. It's my bad. I went through like 4 times and kept going looking for any of these read more things. Let's go to Russ Pettifer, Pettifer. Scott, serious question. What kind of music, what kind of basic rig would you advise someone to start a one-man show? What are you doing? Selling peanuts? Doing is it a peep show? I don't know if you're talking about doing like what I do. I don't know if you play guitar, I don't know if you play bass, if you play kazoo, or if you just sing, or... I wish I knew more. It's just kind of open-ended, dude. I don't know what to tell you. I've answered some on the other stuff. You have to... let me just say that you're a guitar player. And you probably sing. And do kind of like the thing I do when I go do those. Of course, you're going to need to decide whether you actually want to use an amplifier or if you want to go direct. What I do, and it works out best for me, is I go direct. I still use my 2120, you know, Digitech and the pedal for it, you know, the big controller for it. But I keep the main cabinets, of course, up on sticks or stands. People call them sticks if you want to get groovy. And those serve as my mains and my monitors. I stand at a point where I can tell exactly what the mix is, so I know exactly how high to turn up the guitar when I go to solo via volume pedal, and how high to sing, or how much more one track needs than another, unless I've went through and changed the volume on every single track to be exactly the same volume as the previous one. But basically you're going to need your laptop or two, or you can even get by with a, if you know all the words to your songs, you can just use whatever you have. You can use your flipping phone, you can use whatever to play the tracks. But I like the laptop because it gives me the words there, or it gets me at least started on the next verse, so I can remember if I'm, you know, retarded or something. But then again, it's there too because it's loaded up with tons of karaoke crap that other people could come up and do. So you can integrate that, which is usually what ends up happening. So to think that you're going to go off and be a one-man dude and that's it, generally doesn't work out, even if you just flat out say no, because it's just the nature of the beast. I like the powered PA heads and like I said, just couple 2 to 4 speakers up on sticks. And don't forget the rule, and this is a rule. Everybody's like, there's no rules in music. There is here. Make sure your cabinets, whatever you use, the horns are always between 7 and 8 feet above head level, above the ground. That puts your horn above ear level of the tallest person in the room. Therefore, everything is intelligible all the way to the back of the room, because you don't want people to walk in front of your PA cabinets and everything sounds great like this, and somebody walks in front of your stuff, and when they walk away it's like that. So people out there with those stupid ass 215 and the horn cabinets that just sit on the ground, that's the worst invention ever in the world. So never go for anything like that. Go with 3-way cabinets. Get something with a 15 and an 8 or a 6 for some nice vocal projection and guitar reproduction. When you go to the concerts and stuff, even, man, the array systems that are flown, those are all 10-inch speakers up there. And then your subs, they might even have 10s too. It's just all the way, matter of how the cabinet's designed. A few 10s in a properly designed sub cabinet can actually outperform 20 18s down there. It's just all a matter of cabinet design when it comes to subs, but you got to decide if you need any subs or not. But I do not rely on powered speakers. Every single kind, every single brand has let me down. They blow up. So passive stuff, a powered mixer with several channels on it, so you can plug in different instruments and have other people come up and sing, because they're gonna. So get at least 8 channels. If you can go wireless, go wireless. Have a wireless mic always around for whoever to make announcements on, and get all the tunes, like I said before, either karaoke things, or you can take the actual song and eliminate vocals from that with a lot of programs that are out there today, or make your own tracks and so forth. But that's about it. If you're going to use a guitar amp, then it's very hard to tell what your volume is out front when you're micing your guitar amp, if you're actually hearing your guitar amp. Otherwise, put your amp someplace where you can't hear it, but you're micing it and then you hear what's actually coming through the main. So go stick it under a if it's a tube amp, you don't want to stick it under anything, but it's the nature of the beast with them damn things. But if it's solid state, man, throw a sleeping bag over top of it and stick it in the corner and mic it up, but make sure you can just hear what's coming through the main, so you know just how to turn up everything so it's a perfect mix. And again, if you do use karaoke tracks that have the lead parts down, then I always just come up with either a harmony part to the guitar parts that are on there, or just play strictly rhythm, or just find something else to do during it. A lot of times the leads are so bad, I just nail the volume pedal and cover the sumbitch up. So that's basically it, and reliable transportation before anything. Okay, so serious question, serious answer. So that's what I would suggest. If you want to ask any more, please do. It's good business to be in. It pays a lot more than the band thing does. Hell, the band thing, you don't hardly get paid anything, of course, and then when you're playing individual thing, you'll probably average 5 to 10 times as much money per night just by yourself, because everybody can afford one guy, but not everybody wants to pay for an entire band and rooms and meals and all that bullcrap when it's just you. Okay, here's one where Michael had a response that says 2 pages ago, and there it is. I got it circled right there. Michael Martin had a response to this. This is Joe Johnson. Seems to have 2 questions, and then a shitstorm starts. So let's just throw it all out there. First, Joe Johnson says, "Hey Scott, how's it going?" Well, it's going. I'm hurting and they can cure it, but they're not going to, because there's more money in making you suffer. Fuck the USA is what I say. Fucking bullshit. Anyway, let's see. It says, I have 2 questions for you. Cool. It says, why does the low E string detune if you play it first and then bend the high E string? Because the neck's bending. Is it because of the tremolo? Well, if you got a tremolo, that's definitely it. Because I tried it on another guitar with a tremolo and it didn't happen. Well, it depends on if the tremolo is decked or not. So yeah, it's just the nature of the beast there. It'll even happen on guitars without a whammy. You just don't know it as much. Let me prove my world to everybody. That's what I've been trying to tell everybody all along. They just don't get it. But anyway, so typical good whammy system on here. So I'm just bending up the high E. So that's your low E going flat. So you can sit here and grab a bunch of strings and go. I'm not touching the whammy, it's right here. I'm just grabbing a couple strings and bending them. And me playing country all the time, I can't have guitars with free floating whammies. It's just not allowed. So if I want that to go on, it's okay. I just bend up the G string and I get to the end of the song, I hit a low E string, it goes flat, so everything's horrible. If I just play these 3 notes, the other 2 strings go flat, the E and the B. Okay, that's because floating whammy, if you bend 1 note, all 5 of the other strings go flat. If you bend 2 notes, they go way flatter. If you have a guitar that where, like you were talking about, where it didn't happen, the Strat here, the tremolo is decked or against the body. It's not doing it. I can still go down, but I've got it so it won't pull back. So I've got it really tight, so this one can nothing's bending out. So you tighten it just enough so that playing does not affect it. So you have no more pullback on it, but you have the springs just tight enough that as much bending as you can do will not make any other notes go flat, but you can still use your whammy and you're fine. But necks do bend, so if you were actually just to take this guitar that was in perfectly tuned and actually just detune the low E string down to a drop D, like people do, put your guitar on the tuner again. The other 5 strings will be sharp. You know, even it doesn't matter if it was a Les Paul and there's no whammy on it. It's just wood. You know, see, I don't have to use any whammy. I'm just bending the neck. So wood. It sucks. But there you go. There's your answer, my man. Nice and easy. People don't understand that, but for some reason, but there's your answer. And it's a true one. Glad I could show you that one, because it's one of those things that people keep saying, bullshit. Oh, sorry to make you look at my flipping pecker all day. Okay, number 2 on here for Joe Johnson says, Is it possible to have 5 pickups like you have on your custom one? One of the best I've ever seen guitars, and not have a strong magnetic pole, and thus detuning the strings and limiting the vibrations, and how to do it. Yeah, lace sensor pickups. There's hardly any magnetic draw at all. That's why I use them. There's no noise, there's no magnetic draw. You can put the you'll definitely be taking those Duncans out. I've taken them out before. I really hate them with all my life, everything. I just hate Duncan pickups. But the 3 lace sensors, there's no drag, none, zero, nada, blah blah blah. So if Lace ever comes out with a decent humbucker in a single coil size, thing is, Don Lace, the main guy that, you know, the daddy that started this whole thing, he died and left it to Junior, and Junior's puts out a bunch of Alumatone bullshit sounding stuff, so, and a bunch of heavy metal crap, and destroys the company just like kids do. So that's what it is. Yeah, you find pickups that have no magnetic drag, little to none. So I could probably fit 7 of those in there, and wouldn't even have the drag of one single coil altogether. So that's how I get that. So lace sensors, the originals, the only way to go for single coils anyway. Let's see. Okay, here's where all the fun, or the shit slinging starts. So it's with Joe, and then Michael Martin answers him. So I'll just read. It says, also, thank you for everything you have provided me with over the past few months. I have been playing for about 2.5 years, and your videos were just what I wanted to know about my instrument. And you actually do talk about every aspect of the guitar and know what you're talking about. And thanks for saying that you don't hate Chapman or Lee or Wyatt or whatever, because you seem like a genuinely nice guy, even those who aren't to you. However, if they bark at you, you bark back, and I respect that. I'm sorry I can't order your videos because I don't have a credit card yet, and therefore no PayPal, but I promise that I will as soon as I get one. Until then, I'll learn from all of your free videos here on YouTube. Groovy. Best regards to you and your wife. Stay groovy, my friend. Oh, stay groovy, my friend, always. And a big smiley face. Okay, and then I don't think Michael was actually commenting on that one, but I'll put Michael's thing on here. So thanks a lot, man. Yeah, people are just out there, and they do what they do. All those people you mentioned are who they are, and they're never going to change, and so be it. They have their little entourage, and let them do what they want. You know, you gotta just sometimes bow out and say, you can't save everybody, man. Yeah, you can try, but most of them don't want to be saved. Michael, he had written that I wanted to read a couple days ago. It says, Captain Lee sounds like this here's talking about Chappers and the captain over Anderton's over in bloody England. See, Captain Lee sounds like he has been playing guitar about 6 months. Chappers has some competent, albeit very generic sounding shred chops that almost all players who came up in the late 80s and 90s know, but let's see, 80s. In the late 80s and 90s, no, but really vapid, dead, emotionless phrasing, and no discernible style of his own whatsoever. True. I refuse to watch any of his fucking videos because he has monetized them with ads. You can't skip after 5 seconds. To hell with that shit. There are 1,000 times... See, there are guys 1,000 times better than him, including myself, that have never monetized anything. What a twat. So, I just read it. I love it. Okay. So, that's what Michael has to say. Let's see. So here's Paul Smith. It says, "Chuck out Bill Bailey live, Scott. You can do something similar, I think, but with the added sarcasm that you are skilled at. You should give it a go. You would so nail it." So I'll put a little mark right here, because like I said, I haven't read through these, so I don't know who Bill Bailey is other than, you know, the old song. Bill Burr, I know him, and I know I can do that with no problem. But he's already doing it. Okay, here's David Basham. "I would like to say that I learned more about playing guitar from Scott Grove for about $4 and in a lot less time than I learned paying many hundreds of dollars elsewhere." Awesome, David, man, thanks. That's what I like to hear right there. This is what I set out to do. It's just, again, for anybody who hasn't heard this spiel yet, and it's not a spiel, it's actually my whole mantra thing. It's like, God, lessons just sucked. And for everybody to have access to all these free lessons and stuff, and then me with my free lessons, and then the $4 lessons for the ones where I try to stay on subject and try not to cuss. You can get them for $4 a piece for all the downloads, or pay, you know, for the DVDs and so forth, which are only $9.95. Man, I cram the stuff in there that you actually use night after night after night after night for the rest of your flippin' life. If you're into what I'm teaching, I show you at the beginning of each video basically what I will be teaching you. So if you guys are still just sitting around waiting for something, again, you don't have to have PayPal. You don't have to have a credit card. Nothing like that on my site. It tells you right on there you can send me a money order or a check or cash or whatever you want. All you gotta do is email me and I'll tell you where to send it and you can get it. So you can be 8 years old and still order stuff from me. It doesn't matter. I take everything that spends. Okay, I'm gonna finish David's thing. So I'm glad, David, that you appreciate how much I pack into, you know, each lesson. I just wanted the world to have all that stuff, and this whole internet thing was invented while I was out there picking and grinning, and luckily enough that just happened to coincide with me getting off the road and wanting to teach right at that time. So it's cool how everything worked out, and I really appreciate that you're letting me know right here. This is cool. Says, "I have corresponded with you before and have bought or been given almost all your videos." Yeah, I do that stuff too. Sometimes I just give people all my stuff. Why? Sometimes I'm in a good mood. Says, "I really appreciate what you're doing for people that want to learn. I do think that you are intolerant, but so am I." True. I'm going to classes for that. Anger management classes, yes I am. But they're different. Since I'm mental, I have to go to different kinds of anger management classes. Regular ones don't work if your brain don't work like everybody else's. So it's kind of strange. I wish I could take my camera in so you guys could see what goes on in one of those. Because if any of you guys have been ordered to take anger management classes, but if you are mental in some way, you get a whole different course. You don't go to these court-ordered guys, you know, that don't know what the hell they're doing, that you guys just sneak off and have a couple beers with, and then comes back and you march your paper off. No, you don't get that when you're retarded. It says, if someone or something sucks, then you say so. This is true. He says, David says, I am from Indiana. Hey, Hoosier. Me too. He knows that. I'm about 50 miles south of Indy. Dude, man, we've been neighbors all this time. Hell, you're probably around, what, Martinsville area maybe, or maybe a little bit south of that, maybe Bloomington, I'm guessing. Have to let me know. Says, do you have any kids? I got a few buried in the backyard. No, man, I don't have any kids. I'm sure you've been watching some of these because you seem like you're interested, and you seem like a great dude, man, and I remember talking to you and floating you some extra videos just because, yeah, I remember the name well. No, just had my second wife who actually, you know, had, like I said, we were on the road and she had the ectopic pregnancy, and me, and David, you'll know this, the town I was born in, actually, in the hospital I was born in St. Francis Hospital in Beech Grove. B-E-E-C-H for you people out there. Beech Grove. And I used to play a club called The Grove all the time, not the one in California, but back in Beech Grove. So a little house band situation there too for a little bit. Anyway, so I was gonna, if I ever had a daughter, which is kind of the plan when, you know, the second wife got married, I was going to name her China Grove after the Doobie Brothers song. And there was also a TV show on back then called China Beach. And then so I was going to have her middle name be Beach, but I was going to spell it B-E-A-C-H. But I was going to call her China Beech Grove and just kind of name it after the town I was born and raised in, and just the Doobie Brothers song and the whole thing just sounded cool. So that was the plan, but that's the one and only time that any kind of possibility of a child has come my way. My current wife, she was damn near ready to go through menopause by the time we actually met, so no other kids to come from there either. So unless something changes in my current situation, there won't be any kids. So, you know, she has two, and each of her kids have 2 kids, so we do have 4 grandkids. 2 that are about, well, they're in Cedar City, Utah, so an hour and a half from here, and the other 2 are in Port St. Lucie, Florida. And so that's about it. Good to hear from you, David, man. Appreciate you. Let's go up here one more. See, it's a name, so it's not a person's name. K-A-S-S-E-M-I-R. Look like they tried to spell cashmere from Led Zeppelin and failed miserably. I'll let you guys figure it out. There's the name. Da-da-da. Okay, so whatever that name is, it says, are there any blues players that you enjoy listening to? No. I don't listen to anybody. It says, also, thanks. I used to be one of those people who paid the guy at the guitar store to adjust my truss rod. Those days are over. Good. That's the best thing, man. They give you the truss rod when you get your guitar. They give you the little piece of paper with it. And it used to be kind of a scary thing back when, but there's so many videos now, right here on YouTube, but there's not too many smart people that are behind the videos, so you gotta watch it. But man, it's hard to screw up your neck if you have half a brain at all. If one thing gets too tight, it's probably too flippin' tight and you might go the other way. If it gets too loose, guess what? You probably it probably came undone from the other end. So yeah, I mean, you know, there's only so far it can go one way or another, and then you just let it sit overnight and then check it, and if it's worse, then back it off and let the wood settle again for another 24 48 hours, and just make small adjustments at a time, and nothing to be afraid of with a truss rod at all. So I'm glad you're doing that on your own. But the blues players, or just players at all, I don't listen to nobody, man, at all. I just couldn't tell you anybody, you know, other than the typical Stevie Ray crap, you know, and I couldn't tell you anything of his that wasn't a hit. You know, if it wasn't played on the radio, I've never heard it, because I just honestly don't care. I've never once heard a single song yet by that, is it Joe Blow Your Mama? Some fucker in a suit, and I have no interest in what he plays, and I think I've heard something in the background before going through some videos, and it's just like, well, there's only 12 notes in the world, you know. You can only put them in so many different orders, so I didn't hear, even in passing, anything that made my ears go, wow, he really is a amazing thing. And I would actually hear more, and I very rarely catch these either, whenever, well, that horrible place, Guitar Center, whenever they would have a, I don't know, some kind of battle of guitar players things, and you play along with the blues tracks they give you. Every now and then a friend or something would say, hey, listen to my submission, and I would listen to that, but that's as close to actually listening to guitar players, period, as I go. I just really don't care about them. I don't know why. I just, never has been my thing. Thanks for the questions, though. Yeah, and the truss rod thing, nobody should ever pay anybody to do that crap. Everybody should take care of their own guitar, no matter what. Okay, up here to... I've never been able to even pronounce his name. I'd like to just get everything on this guy, because he replies all the time, and seems like a hell of a dude. This guy right here. Da-da-da, dun-dun, da-da-dun, da-da-da. I never can pronounce the name on it anyway, but the dude's cool as all hell, always totally pleasant and so forth, and it's one of the nicest guys I have. If he's subscribed, I guess he's probably subscribed, but one of the nicest guys. Definitely subscribe to the channel for sure. He says, would you ever visit Scotland? I don't know, make me want to. I mean, it's named after me. I would go. I would love to. I think it'd be a kick in the pants, man. You know, so I just like to go anywhere. Just get me out of here. I've got my visa. I'm all good to go. So, and I have nothing to do. I make my own plans whenever I want. So, if that's an invitation, hey, tell me. And for a lot of you guys out there that have actually given me that invitation, thank you so much. I mean, I can't remember who all have, but so many people have opened up their homes and, you know, said they would let this crazy guy in. Other people have changed their mind and told me, you know, go fuck myself, you know, afterwards. But, you know, especially if I don't answer their question within 5 hours of them posting it. Okay, and he also asks, what games do you like? Well, you know I'm not a gamer, except, because I always make fun of gamers all the time. And it's not, again, for anybody who keeps wondering why I keep making fun of gamers, it's not that I'm making fun of gamers, it's I'm making fun of the profiles that you guys have. Because you're all the same person, as far as the people who come over to rip on me for whatever reason you want to. You'll always see whatever Skyrim. I have no idea what the fuck that is. It sounds like some kind of a anal probe thing or something. And Warcraft, don't know what the hell it is, but so every person that comes over here and decides to be a dick and that I have to block every day, every single, I'd easily say 75%, to be honest, of them will have all three of these. One, they're a subscriber to Rob Chapman. Number two, they are a gamer, as is Rob Chapman. And that's, a whole bunch of shit on just games, and they're like 12 to 14 years old or something like that. And the last one, all they listen to is nothing but strictly heavy metal. What's wrong with heavy metal? Nothing. What's wrong with games? Nothing. What's wrong with Chapman? The guy's just a dude out there trying to sell his guitars, and he can't wire, two wires together to put a volume knob in his green BC Rich guitar. But everybody's like, well, he makes guitars. It's like, he can't solder two fucking wires together. No, he has people make guitars for him. He doesn't know how to do his own stuff. That's why he has everybody do all the work for him, because he doesn't know how, even to this day, how to do anything much more than change his strings. But it's his leisure, because he has the money that he can say, hey, fix my shit, and doesn't have to learn how to do anything. What the hell was the question? But yeah, it's just that profile. He asked what games I liked. If you're talking video games, it's just the old standard stuff, because I used to have my own games in my house, and those were just strictly, I'm still looking for a KISS pinball machine in here if I can find one, just to have it, and plus I still enjoy playing pinball if I can ever find one. Just the old shit, dude. The Galaga, Galaxian, Defender, Tempest, even all the way back to, did I say Defender? Probably, I'm sure. Asteroids I had, but I didn't care for it too much. But of course, that was one of the first ones out, except for Pong. When you got like ColecoVision or whatever way back when. I enjoyed my first Atari console at home, the very first ones, and my very first, the only Nintendo I ever owned was the first one. And I don't think I had much there. It came with Mario Brothers, the first one, and only one I've ever played. I've never played any version beyond the original. I had Zelda, finished that a few times. The Legend of Zelda. I remember on Atari there was a game called Pitfall that I enjoyed. I mean, real bad, horrible graphics, but the good old Frogger thing, and oh, what was the one stand-up thing in Pole Position, if you remember that one. One of the very first race games, but these are all arcade games, so these were things you had to go actually stick quarters in. So as far as games, it'd be that, unless you're talking sex games, and that's something different, but we'll talk about that later. But dude, yeah, just know that you're one of my definite favorite people here. I can't tell you how cool it is to have you as a friend. I just always enjoy, and I do read each and every single thing that every single person writes, but as yours, I read every last thing, even if I don't respond to it. I read everything. There is not one comment that comes through that I don't read, ever. I read each and every single comment that comes through, and I block people, usually on the average of 100 people a day, sometimes more, but average. So there you go. Okay, let's go to Drunken Steve. Says my second question. Where's your first? You must have asked one a while back. Oh well. Drunken Steve says, my second question. I was curious to know if your band Most Wanted plan on working up any original material. Oh, I just answered that yesterday, I think. No, never, ever. And how far do you all want the band to go? Just down the street. Keep up the great video, Scott. Thanks. Yeah, no interest. Nobody cares. We just do it because we have to, no other reason. It's just kind of a last hoorah, and we're just go play the weekends or occasional week or something at a casino or something, but no interest in collaborating with anybody to write tunes or anything. If I want to do that, I'll do it on my own, or I'll do it with other people that I have here. My friend Steve Lundgren, pianomansteve.com. Amazing writer, so an amazing singer, player, performer, the whole 9 yards. So that's somebody you would definitely want to collaborate with. But yeah, the band has less than zero intent of ever writing or doing anything, and not sure how long anybody wants to keep doing this actually. So I hear different things every now and then, so some want to keep going, some don't, you know, some are iffy, and that would be 3 besides me. So I appreciate the question, dude. Let's see. I did this. This here's from Dennis Shows. I've done a few of these. Scott Grove, will you do a pickup comparison video? If I missed one, you already did, please link me. Okay, I'll send you about 5 links. I've done a whole bunch of them, so I'll put a little thing right by you and send you to all these. Let's see which other ones. I'll circle you to. I know you're going to mention the Duncan word, everybody does. Let's see. In general, I think a competition between single coils, humbucker, P90, and active pickups would be welcome. But I specifically would like your opinion on the Seymour Duncan. Seymour Duncan sucks ass on everything they do. P-rail pickups and any other pickup configurations advice you could give. Yeah, I don't know what people find in Seymour Duncans. Again, I have yet to hear one that really sounds worth a fuck. No, if I have to be honest with you, I've heard sorry, I gotta stand up for this damn sciatica again. Maybe that'll still be the last day for the pain on this after I go get my pussy shot tomorrow. Duncan ones, there was something called a jazz or something in a neck position. I had a Minerick Inferno. I had 3 of those guitars, and it came stock with Duncans in it, and it actually sounded great. I know I had something called a jazz something in the neck and some other flipping pickup in the bridge, but they were humbuckers, so therefore I didn't really have any use for it. Other than it looked cool, and it did sound really good, but just the fact that I'm not a humbucker guy, I have no use for it. These hot rails and cool rails are total shit. I can't stand them at all. There's not one redeeming piece of quality in those things as far as I'm concerned, but I will give them whatever they put in the, what was it? It was a Fender, it's kind of a Telecaster, had an F-hole in it. I think it's a T90, I think they called it. Had 2 Duncan P90s in it, and it was a Korean-made axe, so it was before the other one that came out that had somebody's name on it, Atkins or something, but it was the predecessor to that axe. So if you see my white Fender double-cut Telecaster, the P90s, they had in that whatever they were. I'm sure it's in my review. We'll tell you what it is. But those actually sounded pretty exceptional. But I just God, just the mentality and just the pickups, just good fucking God. Duncan, suck. I just don't know why anybody goes for these things. But then again, a lot of people don't understand why I stick with the lace sensors either. But, you know, everybody has their things, so I just really hate the Duncan stuff. It's just one of the worst lines, you know, consistently that I've heard. It's just, I literally turn the pages of anything that looks great that has those in it, or if Fender puts out anything that has the noiseless pickups, I definitely know I will not be buying that axe, or I will be changing pickups or something, because those are horrible, every version they made. But yeah, I'll link you up to all the pickup things I've done. I've done one where it's nothing but lace center in different positions of every guitar I had at the time that had lace sensors in them, and then I did all the different, God, I had the Les Paul standard up against some telly with 2 humbuckers in it, and then up against the supposed piece of crap Court guitars here, the Gene Simmons Axe thing with the Mighty Mite pickups in them, and everybody that took that blind challenge knew what guitars were there to listen to, and I'd say 9 out of 10 of everybody ended up picking that Court with the stock Mighty Mite pickups in it as being the best sounding guitar there was, and picked the Les Paul with its typical what is something, oh, my brain, whatever, I'll come up with it later, but it came in last, the Les Paul did, and yeah, Mighty Mite pickups, the humbuckers that came in first place by a landslide, so yeah, I'll link you those. Okay, let's go up here to 2000 Connie, I guess, Konnie. Says, Scott, if you want to do more lessons of instruments other than guitar, what is preventing you for doing so? Well, I can do all the free lessons I want. Again, for anybody who don't get it, right here is, down there's about 2,000 of them. 64 gig flash drives. I sell these things on my website, and I sell a bunch of different little 32 gig flash drives also. But these have every single lesson, pay lesson, that I have available on it, but only on a Mac version. So therefore, if you have a PC, you would just simply get my poor brain, let me think of it. I can't remember, it tells you right on the website what to download. Stupid little program. Anyway, it'll play this on any PC real quick. But the PC files are too big to fit on here. They're 85 gigs total, and the ones on here are 50 point something because they've been dumbed down a little bit quality wise to fit on here, so I can get every last one of them on here. Okay, then after you get done with those, so that means those are totally full. So if I made one more lesson, it would not fit on there, and then I could no longer say that I offer all of my lessons on one thing. Inside these things are actually external hard drives. These are 160 gig, so they'll hold everything. So I want to still be able to keep selling people every one of my lessons on a flash drive for that price, the 95 bucks plus $5 shipping, no matter how many more lessons I put on there. And I don't plan on raising my prices ever, but I would still like to do more lessons, tons. So I'm just simply waiting for the 128 gig flash drives that are out there right now to actually come out at an affordable enough price that I can actually do more than break even by selling. So I have been at a stalemate for a couple years, just sitting on my ass waiting for a 128 gig flash drive to become affordable. That's it. No other reason. Otherwise I'd just be teaching them all for free, which is fine, but then again, I make way more money on anything that is not a guitar lesson. So no matter if I have, 50 or 60 paid that you have to buy guitar lessons out of some kind, bass guitar or electric or acoustic of any genre, it's these mandolin and ukulele and harmonica, and mainly mandolin. Mandolin more than anything, I think. And the ukuleles are doing well. Banjos, dobro stuff, and the lap steels do great. So all those other weird instruments are my bread and butter, because everybody has guitar lessons. So and the little kids videos, I do pretty good on those, and Christmas videos and gospel songs. So that would be the whole entire reason for that. That's all it is. So if I'd be slicing my own throat if I start teaching other instruments that are not guitar without charging for them. But again, it's a great thing I do by keeping my prices so stupidly low. I mean, you can download everything I have for $49.95. I mean, that's over 170 hours worth of every lesson I've ever made. Period. So that's the price of one, like a hour-and-a-half lesson somewhere, maybe, tops. There ain't no better deal in the world, man, and I want to keep that going. I don't ever want to raise my prices. It's about teaching folks. I'm not greedy. I'm really not. I want people to learn. I'm greedy that way, in that I want a bunch of students, but I charge hardly anything because it's the volume that takes care of me, but then everybody else gets it for cheap and freaks out how cheap everything is, and it's like, good God, I learned more than in the last 2 weeks than I have in the last 10 years, and it gets said over and over again by everybody in the flippin' world and all over the world, and that's great that I get to teach people all over the world. Who else can do that? Nobody. And to be able to offer them that many lessons, quality lessons, and there's no cussing on it's all pro crap. It's not in 1080, it's in like 480, I think, as far as the resolution is on some camera it's got tape inside of it that goes around. They've been around for a while. So, but still takes the same thing to learn to play guitar, so they're great things. So that's all I'm waiting on. Figured those would have been down by now. They actually are getting very close to there, but the ones that I have found, they don't really actually hold that much. They're 128s and they hold 117, but they don't come like, let me grab a pack. Okay, here's some more 64s. See, so all these are in packs, ready to roll. I mean, this is how I get them. And I get, of course, tons of them, but, it's just brand names, unopened. They're all just, I've got cases and cases and cases of these because I buy in bulk and save a bunch of money that way. And these are expensive though when you buy them, but I mean, I usually spend $15,000 to $20,000 every time I buy flash drives, and that's a few times a year. But to have those 128 gig ones that are just come loose with no packaging, I would feel bad personally about putting those in something and sending them out, make it look like a used product. I don't want to do that, so they would have to be on you know, professionally packaged product. So I'm thinking they're probably just refurbishing something, and I'm sure they're fine for a little bit, but I know they're just gonna crap out after, you know, a couple months, and then everybody will probably lose their lessons on something like that. I mean, you know, I bought a couple just to check them out, you know, see how they came, but I mean, the price is fine, but they're not good enough for me to sell, I don't think. So, and I wouldn't want to get just a plain old flash drive just hanging there, just okay, that don't have any packaging or anything. It would just freak people out. But thanks for asking. That's the answer. Okay, here's Deriz and then CJ answering him. So we'll get Deriz, see what he has to say. Everybody's still on these people. They all come here to yell. I'm sure, I know they go to other channels to yell too. I'll just read it out loud because it's here, I guess. Comment. The Mr. Warlock threatened me after I made comments about his wood, of course. We've talked shit back and forth, but I actually said I don't really have a problem with him either. Dimebag Douche did the same thing to me, and I still mess with him because he's followed me wherever I posted comments, and he's turned my channel like a bitch after I proved he don't have a band or a job, LOL. Oh, he's talking about David Ralph Hansen and Warlock Wyatt. And then CJ answered, you should see some of those gamer forums, PlayStation blogs and forums, the Microsoft Xbox forums, PlayStation, see what gamers are among the worst offenders. On any of those sites, what you've described would be mild stuff. So yeah, it's something that gets in. It's just little kids and playing video games, or big kids playing video games and listening to heavy metal. Again, I'm a Kiss freak. That ain't heavy metal, but it was in my day, kids. So it just always fits the profile. Again, nothing's wrong with games, nothing's wrong with heavy metal, nothing's wrong with any of this shit other than people don't know how to act. Okay, let's go up to Peter Langford. Hey Scott, and greetings from Australia, mate. Hope this finds you in good health. I wish I was. I feel better today actually than most days. First, I see a word I don't like underneath here. It's the C word. Firstly, really enjoy your channel. It's been a welcome distraction during some tough days with my cancer battle. I saw that word. I've been going through it with Mom, so I'm sure you probably know that. It says, so a heartfelt thanks for that. Bless you for, even though I'm not a believer, I'm blessing you personally for what it's worth for the cancer thing, dude. As for a question, I was curious if you did your own major repair work on guitars, for example, would you tackle a refret? Yeah, I would do I would do it all. I don't care. Yeah, I think everything's so simple now that refretting, especially at the prices today, what, $300 plus for a maple fretboard? Cheaper for rosewood. Maple's just a lot harder wood and harder to yank them out of there, and just as easy to hammer them in, but they do charge an extra $50 to $75, sometimes extra $100 for maple. But yeah, dude, I think I might go ahead and do that to my Paisley. It deserves it. It really needs new frets, and yeah, I might as well. That'll be a little personal love. I owe that guitar so much, and I'd like to take it out on some gigs again, so just because of you, I'll refret the damn thing myself and show you how it goes. So appreciate it, buddy, and take care of your damn self, man. That cancer shit. Me and my wife's been talking all about just how many different kinds there are. We're just doing that tonight. It's like listening to a commercial, and she goes, Now listen to how many different types of cancer this particular place is, you know, battling and noise, you know, testing for. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like this place handles 7 different kinds of cancer that they're trying to cure and so forth. And it's just, good God, what a sickening thing. But all my best to you, and like I said, no beliefs in the man upstairs from me, but yeah, all my prayers from me to you. Wish you all the best, man. Being in bad health just blows dog, don't it? Whoever thought it would be us, huh? Take care, Peter, man. Appreciate it, buddy. And I'll go ahead and refret that pink paisley strap. Just might as well. I'll mark your thing here so I remember to do that, and then to look you up and give you the link to it when I actually do it. I need to do it this winter because I have nothing else to do and the gigs are slow. So, okay, let's go up to Jammin' Joe 317. 317 is the area code in Indianapolis. I don't know if that has anything to do with this, or if he was born on March 17th, which would make him a Pisces, or what. Yeah, I know things. Okay. He asked 2 questions, and I always like answering this question, or these questions, because people already know my thoughts for the most part. But what is your opinion on all this talk of gun control? And the second question, what do you think? Oh, it says, do you think our Constitution is out of date? Yeah, Constitution is horse shit and needs to go away. And gun control, I don't believe in any gun control either. Again, yeah, they should just toss the Constitution crap and call it what it was. An attempt at whatever it was way back then, so just start all over. And again, just, I think your best gun control and all that bullshit is, I mean, everybody should be able to protect themselves. I think everybody should own 10 or 15 of them. Again, my whole thing is just the original Constitution, eye for an eye. Again, you go rape somebody, you get your dick chopped off. You go shoot somebody in the head, you know, we get to come shoot you and your wife in the head, or whatever. Somebody in the family, that whoever you shot in the head. Nobody should support criminals, tax dollars and all that kind of crap, and taxes to begin with. I guess they have to be paid in order to get, I understand that, yeah. We have to have roads fixed, we have to have all kinds of shit done, so taxes are a necessary evil, and I think people should pay their taxes. Anybody who don't, shame on you, because it is something you have to have. Of course, the American government and every other government in the world is 100% corrupt as all shit, and not just skimming, but hoarding tons of cash from all of us. But we know that. So yeah, everybody that wants a gun should have one to protect themselves from everybody else who's going to have one, even if they say nobody can have them, because then only the criminals will have them, and then the police, and that's basically saying the same thing usually in most parts. Police to bust you and take all your weed and go smoke it and then sell the rest of it to somebody else who will go out and make them some money off of it. Sad fucking world, boy. So that's that in a nutshell. I'm not a firm believer in this country, or any country actually. I'm not a firm believer in humanity. How's that? I know a lot of fucking rednecks, and I'm a redneck as they get, or over there, well, you don't like it, get the fuck out. Beat you, fucker. Okay. That was Jammin' Joe 317. You gotta tell me what the 317 was for. Again, it was if you're from Indy, or if your birthday is March 17th, or somebody's is in your family. Okay. There's somebody there, and let's see who it is. Samuel Pierce. His name's at the bottom of this page, and questions right here. Time. I got 10 minutes or so. Does adjusting the tailpiece of a Les Paul affect the slinkiness of the strings? Yes, it does. If so, doesn't top wrapping do the same effect without having to adjust the slinkiness as well? Number 2, what's the best and worst guitars you've ever played? The second one is easy. The whole Les Paul thing. I've got a video about the whole top wrap crap. Thing is, people don't understand just how easy this is, even though it's so outdated and such a shitty system. Okay, so people who don't know what top wrapping is, it's when you, instead of running the strings through here, you run them through this way, then they come over the top, like this. So the strings actually come in over here, then they just wrap around here, and then they go over your bridge. Okay, the part he's talking about, slinky, meaning they get looser feeling. People who play Fender guitars that put 9-gauge strings on their guitars will generally put 10-gauge strings on a Gibson because that will feel about the same because of the different scale lengths. So I don't. I throw 9s on everything, and then I just let 9s feel very slinky on the Gibson guitars. But what he's talking about, like I said, is wrapping them backwards over the top of this. And the main reason I'm against it is because you're going to fuck up your tailpiece. Yeah, really. That's it. See, there's these two great big old bolts here. You know, when you let loose on those and start turning them counterclockwise, this whole fucking thing goes up in the air. That's why it's called adjustable. So they don't have to be. Okay, people at Gibson keep talking, and morons basically, keep talking about break angles. Well, break angles, break strings, break angles, break headstocks. So you have your strings like this coming up. So he's wanting to go over top, or talking about going over the top of this and feeding it the other way. So the break angle isn't that sharp. Therefore, if you get it so it's just barely hitting those things, or with a lot less intensity, then they feel even slinkier, bending, and they do. Okay, so if you don't wrap it over here and fuck up your finish on your nice chrome tailpiece, and everything is original, and you may resell it someday, which is what I'm always talking about, then just raise the thing up like it was meant to be. That's why it's got those 2 screws there. Just raise it up. You can go as high as you want to go. So don't fuck up your finish on your tailpiece. That's all. Yeah, same thing with the neck. They think it has to bend back like that in order to put enough pressure on the nut to make it sound like it. If you call Gibson, again, I've done this a million times, if you call Gibson, ask them what gives them their sound, they will not say it's the 4-degree pitch that the body has, you know, that the neck is at compared to the body, because the neck is set at a 4-degree pitch going backward on this guitar, blah blah blah. None of that. They won't say none of the tone woods, blah blah blah. None of that matter. Nothing mahogany and maple. None of that has anything to do with anything. They'll admit it right on the phone. They'll say the key to the Gibson sound is this 14-degree pitch right there on that neck. That's the first thing that breaks, always. And Gibson has, of course, far and away the most broken headstocks out of any company in the world, probably of all guitars put together. And they will tell you, honestly, and they believe it, that that 14-degree pitch there is the key to their sound. They attribute that to their sound. Fucking morons. But at least they're coil splitting most everything now and making their guitars sound a lot cleaner. they're fucking up by putting weird 2014 badges at the 12th fret, and then on 2015 making that ugly ass font on the headstock. They're doing some cool things with the guitars, but they're charging you another 29% in 2015, blah blah blah. But at least they're putting coil splitting on everything and calling it coil tapping half the time, because again, they're not bright over there, but they've been listening to somebody and they have now put the combination brass nut and 0 fret on their guitars now for 2015, which is a step in the right direction, which I wonder who told them about that over and over. Same as all the Kramer aluminum neck ones. That's how they do it. You want your open notes on your strings to vibrate against frets when you're playing, and they sound a certain way. You're playing stainless steel strings against stainless steel frets, but then you play your open strings and it's hitting plastic or fake bone or tusk or whatever. It sounds different. Wouldn't you want them to all sound the same? But why they went with brass, not sure, because it's softer material, but at least it's got the fret there, the 0 fret. I have to look at it and see what the fret is actually made out of. If it's actually brass, which would suck since it's so soft of a material, it should be stainless, therefore you would not have any divoting in it. But if it's brass, then it will eat right through it. But we'll see. What's the best and worst guitar you've ever played? Again, the best one I've ever played is going to be between the pink paisley and that white Iceman looking thing there, period. And the worst I've ever played, the Martin Fudge Packer, backpacker. Biggest pieces of shit ever made, in any way, shape, or form. Even after you adjust everything, which you have to do, because those folks down in, it's this fucker, it's is it McNally? The same fucker is the one who makes them down in Mexico. Those Martin Fudge Packer guitars. It's this same guy who makes your strum sticks. I think it's McNally. Yeah, McNally. He makes those for Martin in Mexico. And yes, they are total hunks of shit. I do have a review, of course, here on YouTube about those. Also, when I found one at a pawn shop, bought it for $75 at the pawn shop here, sold it for like $2.25 after I set it up. The neck, I know the person that gave this to me will be happy to see it. My attitude adjuster, my Louisville Slugger. The neck feels like that. So you could chop half that fucking neck off and it would almost be playable. But it's honestly that big around. You can't wrap your goddamn hands around it. So that is easily the worst guitar I've ever played in my life. Unless you want to get into, yeah, that's it. Definitely the worst. Then there's all those shitty Tiesco and airline guitars, Nationals and Decca, and basically everything the company called Eastwood is making copies of these days. At least their guitars are better than the originals, but yeah, those shitty old 60s guitars, those are horrible. So, thanks for the questions. But everything's true there, so I'm glad I could answer it. See where I'm at. A minute or 5. Let's see if anything's worth answering right away. Alright, let's just do these. I answered this for some reason already on here. Daniel Parr says, "Hey Scott, sorry if this is a dumb motherfucker question, but oh well. Does wood affect the tone on an acoustic guitar if it has a pickup and is plugged in? I know it doesn't make a difference on electric guitars. Cheers for awesome videos. And I already wrote on there, not a dumb question at all. The answer is quite simply, and I'll give you half of the answer now. Okay, so I didn't answer the whole thing. If it has the under the saddle piezo pickup only, then the wood will not matter, which is true. You can go look at you guys have all seen the block of cement guitar on here, and the ones made out of rocks and stones. Got a piezo pickup. It will sound like every guitar that you guys probably own, meaning it'll sound like all your Takaminis and your Washburns and whatever you have that have the piezo pickups, because the wood and the construction, nothing matters on piezo pickups. You could stick it on a turd if it was hard enough and it would still sound exactly like your nice Takamine does. And so that is why you will find guitars made out of concrete right here that sound like great acoustic guitars. So yeah, so wood makes no difference if you're using a piezo on an acoustic electric at all. You can put it on anything. You could, I mean, literally anything, and it will sound exactly the same. And right above there, it was answered by CJ again. Somebody by the name of Psychedelic Bananas said, "What is your opinion of Neil Young?" Well, I know some people say that I look like him if I don't have this fuzz on my face, but other than that, I really don't know anything about him. It says he seems to have never really stuck in with the common... Oh, he seems to have never really stuck in with the common opinion of others and was flamed for that, sort of like you. I don't know anything about Neil Young at all. I really don't know anything. CJ wrote, "Personally, I do like some of Neil Young's stuff. Favorite is This Note's for You." Never heard of it. Not specifically because of the guitar playing, but the whole song. Special lyrics and the video. So there you go. And then Andy G3 says, "Could listen to you all day, mate. Appreciate it." And I'll save this one for Gretsch stuff for the next time, because it won't be positive. But yeah, I don't know jack shit about Neil Young at all. I just don't listen to music. I don't listen to people. To let you guys know where we're at, I'm almost done with there's about 8 pages left to go, and I've been doing 3 or 4 pages per thing, so there might be 2 or 3 more of these to still come. So you guys be groovy, and once again, Scott Grove of That Thing I Do, and I can see the light at the end of the tunnel in season 2, and thanks for making it groovy. And like I said, I'll come back and with the rest of them. I'll let you know how my epilady turns out. You guys probably don't remember epiladies, especially razors for women. Anyway, I'll catch you guys soon. Alright, take care.